Okay, so this is a local sourdough bread, more or less local, and I am just now starting to mix together the dough. This is 2.5 cups of sourdough starter that I've been working on for a while, feeding it once a day. It's made from water and King Arthur's white whole wheat flour and sourdough culture, which started out on the skins of the crab apples of the tree outside our window here. I'm going to leave a little bit in the jar to start up the next batch of sourdough, but everything else goes into the bread. There's that. I'm going to mix in about 3/4 cup of water, warm from the tap, and just a very small amount of local maple syrup. I'm going to let this sit for about 15 minutes to let the yeast settle in. That's the scientific term. Get comfortable. Okay, so now I'm going to put in some salt and a bit more water and start kneading the dough. 1 tablespoon of salt and the extra 1/4 cup of water, just a little bit at a time. Let it absorb it. It's actually too stiff for the dough hook. Anyway, it's just about the end of the 10 minutes of kneading. So, you want to see how great the bread is? How gooey and wobbly. Alright, so this is the gluten all sticking to that is the ends of the gluten strands all sticking to my hand. You can see how sticky it is. And what we want is for those gluten strands to get stuck to each other and not to me. And so we're going to knead it a little bit more until it's tight and not quite so sticky. I'm also adding a little more flour on the board. We're just going to let this thing rise in a bowl overnight. And then I'm going to beat it down and shape it into a loaf and rise it in the flour cloth. So I shaped the dough and let it rise overnight, and now I'm going to punch it down. Punch it down. Put this grain mix in. This is local mixed grains that I soaked in about 1/2 cup of water for 24 hours, so it's relatively soft. I'm just going to kind of fold this in. Just going to kind of keep folding, shape the loaf. So that grain was wetter than I thought, so I'm going to put in more flour and just knead it some more. Incorporate everything. Alright, now I'm going to let this rest for a little while, and then I'm going to reshape the loaf. Alright, so now I'm going to shape the loaf with the grains incorporated, and we'll see what it comes out like.
here it is in the floured towel in the bowl. And I'll flour the corners here too. Just a little on the top of the bread. I'm going to fold it over to cover thing in the oven with the pilot light on. So here we have spray bottle, razor blade, peel more or less with cornmeal on it, the risen dough, an oven preheated to 500 degrees with a baking stone in there. So this is almost the final step. I'm going to gently turn the risen dough out of the bowl onto the cornmeal like that. Take the razor blade and score it. This is the bit where you have to be confident. Just like that. Or whatever you like, really. Shouldn't be fiddling so much with it, but I can't help it. And then, open the oven, spray the inside to make some steam, and quickly slide the bread right onto the baking stone. Close the oven, drop the heat down to 425, and in 3 minutes I'm going to spray it again, and in about 45 minutes I'll be taking it out. Okay, so it turns out it's been more like 55 minutes in the oven, but I think it's ready now, so I'm going to take it out and put it on a cotton towel wrapped up to let it cool off a little slowly. That way it'll stay fresh longer. I really should let it cool down a little more until it's completely cool, but I'm hungry. So that's what the crust looks like, and the crumb, not too bad.